Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown! It's been a while since I've uploaded a video on this game, and to be honest, since the last upload, I really haven't played it all that much. In fact, I haven't touched it in at least a month at this point, possibly 2. Anyway, although I haven't really played it recently, I have progressed a little further since the last video, a month or so ago, buying cars, racing, cruising, and briefly trying out the Ibiza map glitch, but yeah, this was all a while ago now. At this point though, I'm not really sure how much more I'm going to return to this game, or whether I'll reach level 60 anytime soon, so I thought I'd put out a bit of a progress update video on where I've got to at the point that I've sort of stopped playing it. Let's start with some of my new cars, because that's probably the most interesting change since the previous video. Since the last video, I've purchased 3 new vehicles. Firstly, I took my Aventador down to the Lamborghini dealership and bought a Huracan Performante, despite my dislike of Huracans. On this, I again went for a blue, just like on the Aventador, sort of so it would match. However, I went for a slightly different colour, because the Huracan had a much richer blue option that wasn't available on the SVJ, so I went for that instead of completely matching the 2 cars. I also went for a blue interior, or at least blue accents, and equipped gold wheels to match the Aventador. I really only wanted to buy one to immediately take to the upgrade shop and completely max out. So far I haven't really modified any of my other cars, because I kind of like them too much and I don't want to ruin them. So I did straight away drive over to the upgrade shop and equip absolutely everything that I could to the Huracan, in the hope it would be useful for some of the races with higher performance requirements. I also purchased an Aston Martin Vantage, just because I really wanted one, no other reason really, opting for Cinnabar Orange, a colour that I don't usually like, or I don't like in reality, because it can look a little brown in some lights. Pairing that, of course, with a black and orange interior, and some contrasting black wheels. And finally, the third car I purchased was a Corvette C7 ZR1, on which I went for torch red, a matching red interior, and some contrasting black wheels again. Strangely, I've not spec'd silver wheels on any of these cars, despite usually preferring those on most cars. So this is now what my garage looks when I put my 6 kind of best or favourite cars in it. Mostly things I've purchased, apart from the Maserati that was of course part of the add-ons for whatever version of the game it was. So we've of course got the Vulcan in the purple with the green trim inside, which I think looks rather incredible. We've got the 2 Lambos, so the Aventador, like I was saying, has the sort of goldy bronze interior accents as well as the wheels, and the blue is in fact not quite as deep and rich as the one on the Huracan. Yeah, this is slightly different, it's the darker blue, and I've got the blue accents on the interior, but again with the gold wheels, but yeah, I kind of think that's a rather fantastic looking pair. Then we've got the MC20, of course. I think it was part of the Silver Sharps edition of the game, but anyway, gold edition or whatever I bought contained all of these kind of add-on-y vehicles, so that was the first kind of high performance car I had. And we of course have the Bentley, which I've driven quite a big distance in the purple, with the purple trim, although it's quite dark so you can't really see that very well. We have the Aston Martin, of course, which is why it's next to the Vulcan, the Aston Vantage here. Very, very cool. I have also completed a few more races since the last video, but really not all that many. I don't find the racing at all interesting in this game, particularly after I've completed a few of them. They get very repetitive, and the AI isn't exactly fun to race against, and despite being always online, there's never any players in races. Anyway, you get all of the... I've complained about all of those things before. The Huracan was bought to compete in more races and complete more of the ones I hadn't yet, so I did head straight into a couple, one on Hong Kong Island and another over on Ibiza, which I still don't really see the point of, because over on Ibiza you only get clan influence and not overall influence, and I want to increase my overall level to reach the maximum level 60, but I can't if I race over there, and the ones on Hong Kong are all the same and I've done them all. Anyway, so yeah, that's why I'm not sure I'll ever manage that, given I don't really play the game anymore. Maybe I will eventually, with dropping back in now and then and playing about with it. Anyway, completing that race over on Ibiza got my clan level up to level 20, unlocking a race against a clan member, Jack Vaughan, in his Mercedes AMG GTR. This was in the rain, and I was in an all-wheel drive Lamborghini, so the race was particularly easy. The AI in this game are really, really terrible in wet conditions for some reason. They're just completely incompetent. So yeah, that was easy. As well as car purchasing and racing, I did actually really enjoy going for a cruise around Ibiza with a random player who happened to be doing the same thing, which has always been a fantastic part of Test Drive Unlimited. This was probably the first time, apart from possibly speccing up cars in dealerships, that I really felt like I got anywhere close to the proper Test Drive Unlimited experience that we all loved so much in TDU and TDU2. So for a while we drove Lamborghinis around in the sunshine, but then we both ended up swapping into the Porsches that were given out as compensation for the game not functioning when it first launched, and then he led me over to the spot where you can fall through a boat to glitch under the water and gain access to far more of the island of Ibiza, which, as a lot of people have covered previously, potentially shows that they wanted to model more of the island, or that they still want to at some point, and expand this Ibiza expansion. Anyway, we drove along under the water for a while. You have to go kind of under the sea to go round into the bit of map that you shouldn't be able to access, and then you can drive on more roads. But unfortunately we got reset before we got to that bit, which can happen. But yeah, it was kind of fun to experience the glitch that I've actually seen better footage of online, so it was kind of fun to try it out, but I don't necessarily mind that we didn't make it onto the land. That, though, is all since my previous Solar Crown video. Like many of you, this game really hasn't lived up to the hype for me. I did enjoy playing it to begin with, when it worked, and certain aspects of the game are decent enough. I did have, I think, a fair amount of fun playing this game, and getting to the point I've got to, and speccing cars and all of that, and it is kind of exciting to have a new test drive game, but yeah, you kind of quite quickly run out of things to do in this game. Everything seems a bit similar, and I'm not really sure what purpose I'm working towards doing it. The races are all a bit disjointed, they're not part of a Solar Crown like they were in the previous game, and yeah, I mostly want to spec and purchase cars, then enjoy driving them around the map, but they're all extortionately expensive, and although the race payouts aren't completely awful, like I say, the races really aren't that enjoyable once you've done a few of them, so you just sort of don't do them. I have progressed a little further, bought some cars, raced a little, and briefly tried out the Ibiza map glitch. At this point though, I'm not really sure how much I'll return to Solar Crown at all, or whether I'll reach level 60 anytime soon. So at least for the time being, this is probably the final Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown video. Do let me know your thoughts on this game now that it's been out a little longer. Are any of you still actually playing Solar Crown at all? For now though, that is going to be all, so thank you very much for watching, and I will be back with the next one very soon.